Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Eldridge Bell II, and welcome to another edition of Let It Rip. And today, I gotta admit to you that I'm just frustrated with the Clippers right now because, as everybody knows, the whole world knows that they lost a 3-1 lead to the Houston Rockets. And I'll give credit to the Houston Rockets later in the show, but right now, I gotta flame the Los Angeles Clippers. This is one of the biggest choke jobs in recent memory. It's in the top three at least. I would say Dallas Mavericks losing a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals, and I believe in 2006 against D Wade and the Miami Heat was probably the biggest choke job I've ever seen. But this one is a tie, I think, and I might edge toward this one being in second place, where the Trailblazers blew a 16-point lead halfway through the fourth quarter to the Los Angeles Lakers in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals back in 2001 when the Lakers won their first championship. But I might give the Clippers the number two spot because the Blazers weren't up 3-1. The Blazers didn't blow a 19-point lead going into the fourth quarter when they were already up 3-1. All they had to do was win one game, and they blew two. Two. Now, everyone's going to say that Game 7 was probably the biggest choke job because they got dubbed for most of the game. But no, they lost Game 6 mostly in part because they lost Game 6 because they were outplayed by backups. Backup. It's one thing to lose to your starters, fair enough, but you lost to a lineup that was consistent, was constructed mostly of backups. That's inexcusable. I'm sorry. That is inexcusable. How do you lose to backups in Game 6? That is a joke of the highest order. We can no longer call the Clippers Lob City. We got to call them Choke City from now on because there's no excuse why they should be playing against the Golden State Warriors. And everyone's gonna flame. Everybody's gonna flame Chris Paul for this loss, this epic choke job. But no, everybody choked in this series. Everybody. Doc Rivers, the assistant coaches, Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, everybody. Even the towel boy, the equipment manager, even the people who scrub the court every time a person falls. Everybody choked from top to bottom in the Clipper organization. And I think that's why they should be blown up. Not completely blown up, but a semi blow up where I feel you have to keep their core. They should really do what Dallas did after Dallas lost that series to the Miami Heat the first time. They should keep their core. Keep Chris Paul, keep uh keep DeAndre Jordan if you can, and you definitely have to keep Blake Griffin. But everybody else, you gotta blow it up. Blow it up. Because there comes a time when you lose so much where it stops building character and it just starts seeping into the bottom of your mind, in the back of your mind, and you just can't win with that group of guys. Now, Jordan losing for the first 7 or 8 years of his career, that's fine because that team morphed. He didn't really have that team, that nucleus of team together when he was winning championships. It was a different team. This team can't win together. I don't care what anybody says. You can't win with that. I'm not saying fire Doc Rivers either. Yeah, I think he's a great coach, given his track record, but you got to give him better help. You got to take away everybody else. JJ Redick, he really didn't have a good series. He had moments in the series, but overall he didn't have a good series. Jamal Crawford, he's hit or miss. Uh, I can't think of anybody else, but all the supporting guys, they need to be shipped off somewhere else. Call it a career or call it a career in Los Angeles. Now, let me give the Houston Rockets some credit here because the real the real part of the series that shifted, the real element that made the series shift in the Houston Rockets way was the backup play. As I already mentioned earlier in the show, they beat the starters, especially in Game 6. You had, James Harden, he's not a backup, but James Harden was James Harden. You had Jason Terry, who played well the entire series. You had Corey Brewer, who I thought had a phenomenal series in terms of his all-around play. Trevor Ariza, solid. He hit timely threes when they needed it. He played great defense. But the biggest part, I thought, to this Houston Rocket team was the addition of Josh Smith. And I have been flaming Josh Smith for a long time because I feel that he is not a he is a guy who has not lived up to his potential. Here's a guy who's 6'9", can jump out the gym, has all the athletic ability in the world, and he is for a while he was mediocre at best. I mean, he thought he was Ray Allen shooting threes in Atlanta and was totally oblivious to everybody booing him every time he took a three. The light didn't click. Then he went to Detroit, flamed out there. But as I talked to my good friend, who hopefully will be a guest on the show, Quentin Wheeler Bell, he said he went to a great spot in the Houston Rockets where he was reunited with Dwight Howard, where they're good friends, so they have a interesting chemistry. But he was in a spot where he didn't have to be the guy. They didn't look for him to carry the team. And the more I watched this series, it was accurate. He found his role. He great passer. He shot threes when he needed to. He shot it in rhythm. He wasn't forcing those shots. He drove to the basket. He hit lobs to Dwight Howard when needed. And honestly, he was a major proponent in why the Houston Rockets were able to beat the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, with all that said, I really don't know how that series is going to go against the Golden State Warriors, which I'll preview in a different video. But for right now, congratulations to the Houston Rockets who showed tremendous resolve and resiliency in coming back from 3-1 with the help of the Clippers choking. And I was impressed to watch that. And for the most part, Game 7 wasn't a close game. They were getting dubbed for most of it. They were dubbing the Clippers for most of the series. But kudos to them. In the next video, I will preview how they're going to match up against the Golden State Warriors. Thanks again for watching. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel. Leave comments and suggestions. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Eldridge Bell II.